The fictional creation of portal systems are quite literally my favorite mechanic in video game history, which sadly doesn't get enough mainstream or even indie titles surrounding the idea. Until that one so rightfully nominated title released on the Orange Box on October 10th, 2007, being, well, you would have guessed it, Half-Life! Portal was the hot new Valve game that introduced the idea of, well, portals. In a way a lot of people could only imagine as the only way they could be implemented into gameplay while being engaging, fun, and not a total waste of your time. The puzzles. It's a puzzle game. This takes the use of momentum, objects, and deadly traps you need to desperately escape from the form of punishingly satisfying experience you being the player of exploring an isolated world of a semi-corrupt science facility with groundbreaking discoveries, with hardly any storytelling, which led into its direct hit sequel. I'll give you 3 guesses.
I think it might be Super Mario Maker 2. Okay, that's obviously Squid Games.
Getting warmer.
Oh, I got it. Portal 2.
And you're wrong. Someone shoot this guy. Now, I could talk about this game for literally the entire span of a video on its own, considering it's my favorite video game of all time, alright? Right next to Little Big Planet. But this isn't what the title's about now, is it? By the way, if you'd like me to make a video on it, I highly suggest leaving a comment about it. And if not, I'll probably get to it anyway. I mentioned this banger of a title because it not only implements a mechanic in a way that's fundamental to the use of portals and future titles that involve them, but also proves that you could just throw the puzzle strategy genre out of the 40th floor apartment window, import the entire Halo script word for word, and add multiplayer and still end up with the same result. Splitgate is a free-to-play, fast-paced multiplayer shooter that features player-controlled portals. This sci-fi shooter takes the FPS genre to a new dimension with its portal mechanics, delivering high-flying, multi-dimensional combat, or as the developers would describe it. I usually just refer to it as Halo with Spice. Released on May 24th, 2019 on Steam, with mostly positive reception in terms of feedback and player count, considering it literally utilizes the momentum and strategy portion that we all so love, and does an entire 180 by adding fucking guns and jetpacks. No, not portal guns, the cool ones that kill people. Oh yes, future America. Just look at the gameplay on the screen right now. If this doesn't rile your shooter goosebumps, then you're either A, ass at aiming and should go back to your quadruple A titles with the same fucking story 18 times with better graphics, or B, you're just too lazy and stuck playing the same free-to-play games for the rest of your life. I only bring up this game because of its not surprisingly shit sequel, according to critiques. So what led to its downfall? What did its 6-year development stage end up with in terms of better or worse? And what drove its player count away from the original to even lose traction enough for a sequel in the first place? All great questions. I gotta figure it out, don't I? Hold on. I'm getting a call. Wait a second. Hello?
I hate babies. I hate babies.
So to start off this first manhunt for answers, I'll be getting to our first chapter of this video I call when you boot up the game, you're put in a lobby. Nothing too crazy. Usually I don't open the tutorial because I'm naturally cool and better than you, but for the point of this video, I'll allow it. It just shows the basics: walk, jump, crouch, jetpack, portal, and shooting. You know, the main aspects of the game. It's nothing special or too hard to grasp, so let's get into the actual gameplay. Most of it's locked. Hey, at least the basic ones are unlocked. Plus, leveling up in this game is easier than breaking elderly limbs, so win-win. Now, when I say I actually enjoyed the gameplay, I'm not putting it lightly. This is what I was looking for when you include multi-transportational devices. Not only utilizing portals for momentum around the map, but using them strategically to get an upper hand on opponents, maneuver behind enemy lines, and grab sniping points by the balls to kill your ops before they even realize you placed a comically close portal aiming directly towards their soon-to-be fractured skull. All of what Portal's puzzle-solving strategy used. To put boxes in places, to put lasers to holes, and being entirely reworked into a fast-paced all-out shooter with wacky ragdolls, I might add, while really breaking down the game into layers. Don't worry, I'll go over them for you. Fuck you, bitch. The first being strategy. Picture this, right? The match has started. Capture the objective, everyone's racing to the point, it's first come, first serve. You could either A, follow your team and wipe them out in a 4v4 with a 50% chance of winning, until you respawn separated and try again constantly. Or the other letter, spawn a portal, take a detour, place another portal around the point, then traverse back to the spawn to pick off the team as they're distracted on your teammates. Now the main difference being, whichever team has the best shooters with 100 hours on Aim Trainer would have won the 4v4, no doubt about it. But a toddler with Cheeto dust on his controller could wipe out the entire team with a strategic point like that. If toddlers could even process anything outside of YouTube Shorts these days. It really dumbs down to how you place your portals and when to place them, to get away from enemy gunfire or to get in some. Remember, enemies can shoot through your portal or simply take it away, but they cannot see through them, keep in mind. Second, gunplay. This counts the multiple interactions you're going to get into, mainly being gunfights. Now I say gunplay because it doesn't have to be as simple as rush in and shoot whatever's red. Or you can, your choice really. Dude, this bat is awesome. Notice the platform directly under you. Well, if you paid attention once in your life, you'd place one behind you and jump through that boy to send you soaring through the map to get enough greedy no-scopes that may or may not lead to multiple warnings of your account for walls and head insta lock. It may not have the smoothest movement in the barrel of cool moving shooters, but you might be able to get some shots that make you audibly gasp and wish someone else saw it when nobody will. And you have a lot of maps to explore from, which leads into my next layer, the maps. I'm not gonna lie, they did justice when it comes to some of these maps. Most, if not all, maps function around the portal wall placements. Then they just build around it, it seems, because some of these creations are beautifully crafted, while others could be better. And believe it or not, they do have an open use map creator if you have the spare time and want to make something hilariously ass for customs after you're sick of public locks. But when I mean crafted, I mean specifically for the various amounts of game modes, which is the last layer. Of course, you have your classics like Team Deathmatch, Team Objective, Team Fiestas, you know, the classics. But when you get to the fun ones like Sniper Frenzy, which you're equipped with not only a sniper, but a shotgun, things get a little bit chaotic. Or no portals, which is simple enough when you're on your 58th death by portal loss. It's a breath of fresh air. No, I'm not over-exaggerating the 9 game modes they have, just saying it's a pretty fresh quick play selection for a free-to-play game, mind you. Something that we're not so used to nowadays, with every newcomer being a direct copy of a game, or the yucky stuff. I can't say it. That's to say, I think it's a pretty great way to introduce a creative mechanic in a pretty iconic way, while having its own style and format that I feel holds up pretty much in today's era of gaming. Then why is it pretty much fucking dead? Look, at the time of its release, it was a pretty banger launch, I can admit. And before I look at the specifics, let me give you an educated guess on the matter at hand. Ahem. Yeah, there's no words on this book. As fun and simplistic as it is, that's pretty much all they have to offer in terms of, well, a game. Yes, there are loot boxes for cosmetics, it had an item shop at one point, but considering leveling up was, and still is, a walk in the park, I could see me maxing out on every weapon in like 2 days tops. Not to say I don't enjoy loot boxes. I adore them more than anything Valorant or Apex has to offer, which is just overpriced bullshit. But having a small arsenal of cosmetics locked behind a wall that's already been torn down, all while the player isn't even trying, leads to some pretty laid-back replayability. Now, as a game developer, I wouldn't really know how to fix this. I don't know, maybe add XP harder to receive, less weekly missions. I told you, I don't know, but keep the level up weapon skins. Those are cool. Now with all these and a few months without any game-changing updates, I could visibly see the shift in player count over time, give or take. Whether I was there to see its downfall or not, I was not. So without further ado, I will be looking into the real reason for its servers being first shut down. So yeah, pretty much what I guessed. Shout out to Just Say Steven for confirming a lot of what I already assumed happened with its player base. Same old, less replayability, lack of crazy updates to keep it up with current successful free-to-play games, and better games like Halo Infinite releasing, which is literally the worst case scenario considering Splitgate was their knight in shining armor when Halo hadn't released something to the public in ages. And something about sweats, which isn't anything new. With a successful game, it's always going to attract competitiveness. And if you can't keep up, well, it's 100% a skill issue on your part. But there is something good to take out of this, if you were looking for a good ending. Which honestly I'm getting sick of. Could movies let antagonists win more often, bro? I think that would be pretty awesome. Anyway, once Splitgate's launch ended up making $1 million off console and PC alone, which you would think would lead to more updates and better cosmetics, right? Instead of a global announcement saying they're giving up on the project. You could only imagine the devastation on their fandom's face. Apparently Splitgate was a college passion of theirs, and it wasn't meant to be a competitor for Apex or Fortnite, but a fun beta test for what they could do as a small development team, which I'm all down for. And with the major success of its launch, they've decided to put all their eggs in one basket on a bigger project set in the same universe as Splitgate that would be built in Unreal Engine 5, and would be releasing smaller updates and fixes, but the bulk of their focus would be on that said project. So that's that. A small look into a game that engaged fans, revolutionized Portal's main mechanic, and fed college students when they desperately needed. What a wholesome look at an indie game I look up to. Hope there won't be a really cool release by those same developers for that very same bigger project that will be in the exact same universe as the original Splitgate. Splitgate 2, released on May 22nd of 2025 on Steam as a beta and June 6th globally. Exactly 5 years and 2 days before its protege starting with an open beta. Now mind you, I could only spare my attention to the things in front of me, meaning if I don't search it up or if that information isn't given to me via personal or online, I wouldn't fucking know it. So when Steam pops up saying one of my added hombres is on Splitgate 2, a semi-known dead game for ages ago slapped with the number 2 on it, you can only imagine my curiosity at this point. So I set up a few phone calls, texts I forgot to finish, set up a date, asked if they wanted to hop on, and downloaded what I could only hope is the new and improved Portal Wars I so desperately was missing since its original release.
5, 4, 3.
Why is it so loud?
What's that, Battle
Read a
Royale?
quick play.
I had never said Battle Royale, I can assure you that one.
Oh, I don't want to play Battle Royale. Stop.
I'll be honest, it didn't really appeal to me as much on first boot up. Sure, the UI and menu looked better than ever, and the graphics are phenomenal compared to its direct original. But its use of classes and microtransactions, was a small turnoff. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You boot up the mandatory tutorial to go through the basics. Nothing special, except now you can slide? Huh. Anyway, you place portals with one button now instead of 2. Grenades do a lot more instead of just closed portals, and like I previously mentioned, there are classes and abilities now. I didn't want to get into the specifics with certain gameplay mechanics from Splitgate 1, specifically so I could point out what they did differently in comparison to the newer and improved spin-off. So this is the part where I get to show off the main differences between the two, with the half a decade time gap. First and foremost, sliding, duh. You probably wouldn't even consider this as a major change. Hell, you might not have even recognized the original Splitgate never had it. Literally, you could only crouch. Really surprising what you can get away with momentum-wise in that game. This single-handedly revived my interest in the game. Knowing that the developers were big fans of Titanfall and implemented an even funner mechanic based off the movement alone had me curling my toes with the image of me slide canceling on enemy lines as I seamlessly glide through objectives with a fucking baseball bat. Also, the BFB is back. You can only guess what that stands for. I got one with the bat. Oh, that's another one. That's another one. Don't get got again. Yo, pick up the bat if y'all can, bro. The bat is so good. Moving on. The portals placement are inclusive to that one button that opens them and another that closes them. But if you're still stuck with that nostalgic Splitgate Q and E, then that's also an option. Meaning you could always replace enemy portals by placing yours over them, which isn't a bad mechanic. Seems way more straightforward than using specific grenades for them when they could just be placed back. Nothing game changing, like I said, to me at least. Now, can we talk about the class systems, please? I've been dying to talk about the class systems all day, okay? There's 3 factions consisting of Eros, Meridian, and Sabrask. And if I'm gonna be honest here, I had to boot up the game again because I couldn't remember the other 2. Yeah, so many. Eros, which is the one I will not be unequipping, deals with fast momentum and head-to-head combat. Of course you can get around with the other factions, but this guy's the cooler Daniel. If Daniel was 2 half-baked he or she, won't misgender, has faster ability cooldown, and has the ability to shoot an unhealthy amount of heroin into their system without being a corpse. Yeah, they're awesome and you're not. Meridian is the stinky support class that copies Bloodhound's scanning ability bar for bar and heals the team over time. While its even stinkier relative, Sabrask, basically says fuck you and hides behind a wall logging. Finally, with those out of the way, what else? Oh yeah, there's genuine loadouts now. You can now upgrade weapons and equip perks that are pretty simplistic and easy to unlock. Their locker simplistic, their battle pass is simplistic. Everything's pretty simplistic, alright? Not as an insult, trust me. I'd rather this than a UI that completely bombards me with words and buttons that overwhelm me in the matter of seconds. No, This is the locker, just like the original. Now, I won't be getting into the microtransactions, considering people were already complaining about this already. So much that they've already split the prices of cosmetics in half and refunded people who already purchased them beforehand. This just goes as far to point out one of my favorite pet peeves. I just love when developers don't fucking listen to the people that give them money. Points aggressively. It seriously is as easy as reading a comment from someone who has already played your game and experienced something that they wish would be better. Even so far as giving you exact details on how to fix this said issue. Most are hit or misses, but you get the point. You quite literally have all the tools to make it happen. You don't even need the idea, and people will praise you for simply listening and engaging with your followers. And seriously, when did this become homework for developers? Was it the money? It was definitely. Anyway, cosmetics are dope, lobby's alright, so let's get into the actual meat. Sorry, not sorry, vegans. Who is Felipe?
I'm in the game. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm in the game too, but our two randoms are named Felipe and Laser Chamulu.
No, I don't know who that other one is. Get both of their teammates shooting at me at once, bro. Just spin me over at that point. Oh, and you still lost to me with a loser.
That is.
Oh yes! You were in there like swimwear. What is this gun that just? Oh my god! They added something new. Oh my god! Oh, you're out of here. You're out of here. Oh my god! Don't get this gun in my hands.
Oh, I got them from behind. That felt so good. Oh, that felt so
Splitgate
good.
2, everybody. Let's see what fun arena game modes they have so far. Yep. The one giant button you see is none other than the one thing that kills off so many original FPS games after launch. A fuck-ass battle royale. Now, as the awesome and cool Samaritan I am, I was going to simply ignore said gigantic button on my screen and revisit some classic arena modes and hopefully have a great time. Hell, we even joked about it including a BR in the first place while doing everything in our power to avoid playing it. But this video wouldn't even be made if I didn't go out of my comfort zone, now would it? That's a sign to commit that felon you've always wanted to. Keep in mind, loading time for solo queuing takes around a minute on average, so unless you have no friends, I would suggest inviting a few. You might not regret it. After you load in, unless your client crashes, you are greeted with the team and their selected factions. Look, I'm just gonna call them classes, okay? I mean, what even is a faction? And why do I keep putting up air quote? You dive in as any common battle royale would and immediately search for weapons, equipment, and upgrades, like any other battle royale. Now, I wouldn't be talking about this game if it didn't have its upsides. Probably. Maybe. So what's different about this battle royale? Well, sure, there's still portals in convenient spots, but are definitely limited considering it would be hell trying to earn kills while I'm constantly being flanked. And they thought about this by limiting portal usage unless you find upgrades to increase the number of portals you can place, which they do have upgrades for almost anything, so it's best you collect them. Now, I'm not going to go into the list of upgrades, weapons, and perks, mainly because I don't want to. But like every game, it's best you get up off your own ass and try them for yourselves, especially considering it's a free experience. But the pros for this one PvP alien shooter is once you finally die, your punishment is the shortest respawn time I've ever seen in a royale to date. And unless your entire team dies, you're basically back in the action immediately with the pass loop to help your teammates, or die again immediately. No more tedious respawn beacons or revive cards. Just fall back, wait out time, or just respawn them manually. Which is a cool feature, but you know what's even cooler? The zones, which are basically different maps to keep dogfights from being filled with third parties and your PC deteriorating. It's great how they thought of one of the major issues with other battle royales being one huge map and a bunch of chaos considering guns are loud, and split the world up into sections to keep other players engaged without feeling overcrowded. It's a nice touch. And as the storm pursues you, you all progress through the various zones, collecting more loot while engaging in more fights until the last remaining is going back and forth until... a well-deserved result. I can see esports getting a grasp on this. It's a fresh take on the already annoying and repetitive free-to-play genre, while still having its own arena mode that gained its popularity in the first place, while being absolutely free. Did I mention it was free? No glaze, but this might definitely be one of the best free-to-play games we've gotten since like the finals or something. Wait, do people like that game? By any means, I'm not a huge fan of this franchise, funny enough, considering I'm the one making this video. Not to say they don't have potential to rise in the future of competitive gaming, cause well, I'd be lying. But to put it simply, it's implemented a mechanic in a different way that caught my eye since its first release, all the way back in 2019. Which I respect the developers for doing. Turning a passion project into a fully fleshed out, free-to-play action-packed shooter while sticking to its origins, even if their promotional material was bud. That's why I made this video. While I'm not receiving a single penny for it via sponsorship, I simply wanted to show that never giving up on an idea can go a long way. Yeah, even you can go from bunking up with roommates you don't like in a crowded campus eating ramen noodles in your bunk bed, can go to making millions by simply having an idea and sticking with it. If that's not inspirational on its own, I don't know what is. Well, I gotta get back to being unemployed. I'll see you soon, whoever's watching this. I don't know what my next video will be considering I have multiple unfinished scripts. So let's just say it'll be another banger like this. I think. Portal 3 win, Valve, please, I'm begging you. What's good, sexy strangers? Just wanted to suggest purchasing my little server subscription if you've joined the server. I'll be adding little shoutouts at the end of every video, displaying your avatars in whatever way you want them to be displayed. There's also other cool perks if you're interested in supporting me. But nevertheless, I appreciate the view and like you definitely hit. Right?